Ladies and gentlemen, we are back for episode 3 of Coach Confessions. I am the brolic one, Derek Batista, joined alongside me, as always, former Mr. America himself, Big Papa Butch Nieves. And I must say, you are looking like you had your hand in the cookie jar. You were just telling me off air about something you accomplished on TikTok, and just you got to tell me. I don't even know how to do
Well,
TikTok.
listen, I actually made my first TikTok video. Now it's just like a little picture of a meme, and I put some music to it, and it worked. So I'm kind of excited about it. So that's just the beginning of what's going to happen coming now. Now I got a little playroom with it. So now
Oh,
I'm
you're
gonna
gonna be
start
so
feel.
obnoxious.
Yeah, I'm gonna be unbelievable. It's gonna be unstoppable right now. I'm even thinking like doing TikTok like incognito, like with a mask on or makeup maybe or a hoodie or something like, hey, you know how some of these guys do those TikToks and
Mm.
be well trained like an animal. I am the beast. All that good bullshit. So, but yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll have fun with it. Either way.
Well, I mean, before we really get into our little discussion, so you have a little announcement in terms of in-house boot camp. So we might as well just get it out there for those who haven't heard or seen your
Well,
meme.
I was actually kind of yelled at this morning. My son was like, Angelo, the Papichulo, aka the Prince, said, hey, man, we need to do something a little different. We've been doing, the dumbbells and the virtual. He goes, you got to bring back the old school boot camp with the crazy train and the different stations with the ropes and the kettlebells. And he told me on top of it, and you're the one who's got to teach it, just the way it used to happen before COVID and when the gym was really, really pumping and kind of crazy. And he was very authoritative, would not take no for an answer, made me commit to a time and date. So we're committing to next Wednesday, 5:30 p.m. And here comes back the crazy train, baby.
So what's that going to entail? I mean, for those who maybe missed the train, they weren't on the train, back in the day, which seems like back in the day, it really wasn't. But with all the
Yeah, I
changes, it
know.
seems like that. But
Hmm.
fill the people in as to what they could expect if they walk through the door that day.
Well, listen, we set up a bunch of stations, right? A lot of times we're done with Tabata, which is a 4-minute workout, but we have several in line, so we'll have a couple different stations with different apparatus. So one might be the ropes, another one might be medicine balls, another one might be a slam ball, all these different things. And you can go back and forth with a limited amount of time on each station. You'll have two or three people within your circuit it's actually quite challenging, but very doable. And
Right.
then and before we do that, we do a quick little warm up, get the blood working. So we do kind of a body weight routine. We do some functional stretching and training. Then we get into the stations. Then we clear the house, clean everything off the mat.
Right.
And I say those words that everyone used to hate and say, run it!
Oh my God.
Oh,
The
and
look
they
of
go, run
terror.
it. Yeah, everybody looks at me and they give me the dirty looks or the squinches and then they start running and then we stop and then we do a set of exercises and then they run and they stop again and exercise and top and now, oh my God, it gets crazy. It's unbelievable, but it's like 700-800 calories later, they feel like monsters. And that's what we build. We build, as you know, monsters.
Well, I
Sometimes the world
myself.
doesn't need, listen to this. I'm going to steal this, but I like it. Sometimes the world doesn't need superheroes. Sometimes it needs monsters.
Really? Where did
That's
you
our
steal
job.
that from?
Some movie. I don't know. But never mind. I shouldn't have said anything because then you would thought I would have said it. Damn.
No, I wouldn't
Damn. I
have.
would
No, I
have
wouldn't
had
have. No, I wouldn't
that.
have. Well, I got to tell you, I am looking forward to that because those type of boot camps were just so much fun. The energy, the
What
back and
made us
forth.
famous. It's what
Yeah.
made us famous. Made us, everybody talked about them. They left and they couldn't stop talking about it. And everybody wanted to bring other people to experience them. So, and the bottom line, the results came fast and hard. You got results. You did that workout, you got results.
Yeah.
Your nutrition mattered, but not as much with those kind of workouts. So it's pretty amazing.
Well, I'll be looking forward to that. And I got to say that our people, our fit family who we love and adore, will be looking forward to that as well.
Absolutely, it's gonna be a lot of fun. I even gonna make a special playlist. So it's.
Oh, look out.
I know. Well, I'm gonna have to concur
Something
with my son.
Angelo will not like at all, but
Oh, no, no, I'm gonna help. He's gonna help me with it. We're gonna listen. It's gonna be a happy blend. Don't worry.
you think
All
so?
right. But you're not gonna help me. None of
Oh,
yours. None of
wait.
yours.
Come on, I want some input too.
No, no, no. There's some places we got to draw the line.
Well,
Anyway, so remember this year we had a couple great events coming, stuff happening. Uh, Something happened with you this year that was sort of a new chapter in your book.
that would have
Yeah.
been last year. We're talking
Well, okay,
about
last year.
2020.
See how you break me down right away. See how you make
Oh,
me
but you
look
give me
bad.
those openings. You give me those openings. But
Trying to
anyway,
make you, trying to make it happen.
2020, as you were alluding to, was just as for everyone, just a year of just chaos and confusion and just something that I would never ever want to repeat again. However, there were two milestone birthdays. One was in September, where this guy right here turned 50 years old. And then a few months later, in December, Big Papa Butch Nieves turned the big 6-0. Wow, brother. Wow.
Did you ever think we'd be that old?
You know,
I mean,
it's
honestly,
nah,
do you ever think you'd be calling yourself 50 or 60? I mean, when I turned 50, I was like, yeah, all right, so I'm 50, but I'm still strong. I still feel good. Now, how old are you? And they say 60, and they look at you like, what? And I'm like, yeah, I'm 60 years old. So it hits you a little bit, and listen, I feel great. I feel good. I feel confident, but wow, we've been doing this for a long time. So,
it's like when you the other day you posted that picture of your 1 year anniversary of being in
ah,
business, and
right.
you had the nice suit and you had the full head of hair, and people just don't understand who that guy was. I mean, our family sees the big cuddly bear, and someone they just want to hug and squeeze, But that guy was an intense fella. Not that you weren't nice; you were always a gentleman and good to your people. But boy, oh boy, 29,
Yeah.
30-year-old Butch Nieves was not the same fella we see today.
No, listen, I was the epitome of a monster back then. I mean, I wanted to train hard. I wanted the business to do really well. And the one thing it was good and bad was the fact that if you came into my gym, I wanted you to be the best you could be, regardless of how you felt about it. So if your goals weren't aligned with my goals, we would butt heads because I'm like, why wouldn't you want to be leaner? Why wouldn't you want to be stronger? Why wouldn't you want to be more fit? Why don't you want to squat 700 pounds? I can't figure that out. So
Just
that's where the intensity.
unfathomable.
Yeah, I just like, what do you mean you don't want to squat 1,000 pounds? That doesn't like factor into me. And people look at me like you're a crazy person, and I was. I learned throughout the years to curtail it and control it, mainly, and that's the whole thing about it. I think as you get mature and as you get more experience, you learn to control the passions in your life, and the powers you sort of accumulate along the way. When I talk about uh, Angelo becoming a monster, I truly want him to become a monster, but being able to control those emotions, control it physically, mentally, emotionally, all those things. I think that's really powerful. I think that's really important. As long as you have that control. Back then, I didn't have much control. It was like one way. That was it, all in, nothing else. And that lasted for a lot of years, but it also helped me win a lot of competitions.
Well, let me ask you, during those years, in not only your bodybuilding career, but in terms of business, um, did you have a mentor? Did you have someone that you could bounce ideas off or ask questions to, was it just kind of a roll of the dice at the time?
It was more of a roll of a dice. Back then, if you remember, there was only one other gym in the Bronx at that point. It was Elmo's
Elmo's.
gym. Elmo's gym. And of course, Elmo wasn't going to talk to me. Very nice man, very cordial. I knew him and I met him and talked to him. He's a prince of a person. But when I opened, I was his main competitor. and because there was only two of us, so just you either went to Elmo's or you went to Butcher's. That was it, and there was nobody really to compare to. There was nobody really to learn from. So it was, I tried this and see what worked and didn't try it. But almost anything I did back then worked because there weren't really many options. My failure came in with not to prepare for the future. You always think, the members are going to just come on in like crazy, and the money's always going to be coming in, and there'll be no problems, and all that sort of thing. But then all of a sudden, another gym opened up, a Worlds or a Gold's gym. I think it was a Gold's gym that opened up in Westchester Avenue at the time. And all of a sudden they stole a bunch of members, and I was like, "Hey, well, what's that about?" Like now I had competition. I didn't really had any kind of competition, and it was a much better equipped gym than the one I had. So I was like, "Whoa, what's going on?" And then Powerhouse opened up,
Right.
and now another gym. And I was like, "Hey, I knew nothing about this. Like now, now people had different options. Before it was like, hey, you had two, A or B. Now you got A, B, C, and D. You know what I mean? So that became where I had to start learning things and okay, learn more about marketing, learn more about sales. Those kind of things became a little bit more important if I wanted to be able to survive. And even that took years. I mean, I had to learn how to negotiate leases, all these kind of things.
Ugh.
So yeah, that was my first landlord came to me. That was another hit. All of a sudden, I got this bill in the mail for at the time, I don't know, $40,000 or $50,000, and I had no idea. It was because there was one little word in the lease that meant I had to pay the total amount, not the percentage of the amount. And I didn't know. It was
Wow.
like you pay a percentage of the increase. Instead, it said you pay the increase. I had
Wow.
no idea. So I said, "Yeah, I'll pay the increase, no problem." How much could the increase be? Just the increase.
Right.
Well, the increase was close to $50,000 for the
Yeah.
year. I
And
was
this
like,
is 30 years ago, so
right,
it's a lot
because
of
now you're
money
paying.
now, so you could imagine then.
Yeah, it was crazy of the whole property. So yeah, it was in my lease, and now all of a sudden, now that hit me, and then all these other gyms hit me, and yeah, you learn real quick. You learn real quick, and then as you know, we moved to Iron Kingdom, and then I had a real challenging landlord there, and that was quite an education. That was quite an education. So we persevered. We moved on. I was real passionate with the business, and I learned. I learned quite a bit. What I did do, not to go on too much of a rant, but I did work for an LA Fitness in Florida. I went to work because at
I
one point
remember.
I remember I moved to
Mhm.
Florida and I wanted to spend time with my family, so I got a job working in LA Fitness, and that was a huge education. There was a man named Chris Kelly. That was his name. He was the general manager, or actually the vice president of the entire company, and he sort of he took me under my wing and taught me a lot. So that was really an eye opening about the business aspect of gyms,
Under the
which
learning tree.
yeah, I learned quite a bit. It was quite a process, and when I finally came back, I was able to apply all those things to the gym and go from there.
If you could, if it was even possible,
Here we go.
if you could go back in time as 60-year-old wise Butch Nieves and appear at that party, your 1 year anniversary, and you had 2 minutes to sit down with your younger self, what one piece of advice would you give to him and hope that he would listen?
I would tell him the most critical part was to study sales and marketing and to invest your money, not to spend it, not to save it, but to invest it for the future. I think that'd be the thing that I would say to any young entrepreneur or any business person. We have a habit of trying to save what you want a certain amount of money saved just in case, 3 months, 6 months of income coming in case something happens to you. But I would have invested a lot of money. I made quite a bit of money in my first gym. I just didn't know what to do with it, and I spent a lot of it. And I
Sure.
had fun. I had fun. I was a young man. I had fun, but I had no real commitments. And unfortunately, a lot of that money I would have invested. I'd be living much easier right now, or more affluent, I should say, and I'd be able to help more of my family. A lot
Sure.
of people say, money's the root of evil. Money's not. Money is freedom, and you can help your family.
Right.
You can help all your family. So that's, if I had 2 minutes, that's exactly what I would say. So study sales marketing, and please invest your money in properly. Invest in real estate, invest in other business ventures, and invest it in a good bet that the future you go down the line, 15, 20 years down the line, you have some great equity built up, and you're really bringing in the money at that point.
That is fabulous advice. So whoever's
Mhm.
listening, heed that advice.
Yeah.
But as I look back, so much of my youth and time was spent with your business in your gyms. I mean, I was about 20 years old at the time. Now
Yeah, yeah.
I'm 50, and boy, oh boy, it went by in a blink. And God, I really
Do
loved
you
every second of it. I
do
really
you
did.
remember the first time you were working for Channel 12 and you came to do an interview at my gym at Iron Kingdom?
How could I forget with the great Chauncey Howell? I'm not even sure if he's still with us. Chauncey Howell was a big TV personality in the 70s and 80s. He worked for Channel 7. He worked for I think he worked for NBC. He made the rounds, but time had passed, and he was now relegated to the local news, and he was still clinging on to whatever little fame he had. And he had this segment that he would do, and I happened to be the cameraman that day, and it also happened to be my first week working
I
at
know you
the
brought and you
job.
brought him to me.
And I brought him to you because he would like to go to specific businesses and just have a little bit of fun, goofy fun. Chauncey was always known for his offbeat humor, and I can't remember exactly what happened, but he was an obnoxious guy, and I
Well,
think he insulted you not he insulted you in a way that was subtle, but it was still
an
insulting.
insult.
Yeah,
It was still an insult, and back then, as you know, I didn't really take much of anything from anybody,
right.
And when he said whatever he said, and I was like, really? So I had two ways to respond: either jump down his throat or be a real wise ass, and I decided to be the wise ass and have fun with him because what was I going to do with him? I'm not going to threaten him or try to bully him around. That's not who I am anyway. So I decided to have a little bit of fun, and I know you were like, "Oh my God, it's my first day. What are you doing to the guy?"
Somebody get fired.
I brought him here,
Oh my
and you were looking
God.
at me like, "Stop, stop!" And we were dying, because now, I
Uh,
really went to town on him,
I,
and it was on camera. You caught it on camera, I
I
remember.
did, and as a in addition to that, as Chauncey and I got back into the car and were driving back to the station, it was silence in the car because I didn't know what to say, and I'm driving. So he, at some point, which seemed like an eternity, it was probably maybe a minute or two. He turns his head towards me and he says, "I think I made your friend very angry." I said, "You think?" Then I said, "Chauncey, I brought you there. He was a friend." He goes, "Ah, yeah, I know, I know." And I mean, he was just that kind of a guy. I don't know what got into him, but in fairness, wasn't the only time that happened, and I was with him
Uh,
quite a bit for about a 6 to 8 months. But I tell you, I mean, looking back, good times, and as you said earlier, we're both strong and we're healthy still. There's been an evolution in our training, of course, as time goes on. We're not nearly lifting as heavy as we used to, and we have slowly begun to embrace that, and it's okay, and improving on other things. I mean, you have that freaking assault bike at the studio, which I still try to conquer a few days a week and have not, but it has improved my conditioning so much and I feel great. Not while I'm on it, but overall, all these little things that we've changed over the years. Like I swim a couple of days a week as well. And
mhm.
yeah, we've just kind of shifted into
Listen,
a new phase.
well, listen. Back in the day, the training was emphasized for, aesthetics and size and strength. We want to be strong, you want to look strong, you want to have that physique. And right now, hey, we still want to look good.
Sure.
We want to look healthy and be healthy, and we want to be pain free. So that's how our training is changed. It's not that important anymore that we bench press a ton of weight or lift the big heavy dumbbells. It's more important how we do them and how we feel going after the workout. Like you don't want to be crippled. I remember those days I couldn't walk. You couldn't move.
But it was like,
Brush your
yeah, I can't move.
yeah, yeah. We're all
Yeah.
excited. I'm
Yeah.
brushing my teeth. I'm like, oh my god, my shoulders are killing me. This
Mm.
is fantastic.
Right.
Now I do it, and I'm like, what the hell is that? I don't want, So hey, it's again, it's just a shift of priorities and a shift of what's really better for you in the long term. Because at the end of the day, does it really matter how much you bench press? Does it really matter how much you do those things? If you're a younger man or younger woman and that's important to you, okay, great. Those are your goals. That's fantastic. Nothing bad about that. But as you get a little older, I mean, you have different priorities. That's all.
Been there, done that.
Right, right. So for you, what has been the biggest that you can see? What would you tell your younger self at 50 years old now? And you would look back and say the person that when you first walked into my gym that first time,
Yeah.
what would you tell that? You could sit down with that person. What would you tell that person if you had 2 minutes, 2 minutes, to talk to them? What would you tell them?
Join Jack LaLanne.
I gave you the opening. I gave it to Run, run out of here.
Well, I tell you, I would probably say, enjoy this because this is going to be a tremendous time in your life, and you never really know the most significant times of your life when they're happening. And I spent so many years around you and so many of the other characters at the time, and Alan comes to mind, Alan Cohen, and Jeff Rodriguez, and so Elroy, crazy ass Elroy.
Yeah,
These are
yeah.
names that always resonate in my head, and I look back very fondly. But in terms of what I would say, in terms of how to preserve my body a little better, I would say stretch, 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 because all the years of stretch neglect has definitely caught up to me, and now I stretch every day as you do, and not go balls to the wall every single workout. Why are you pushing yourself to the limit every single workout? Now, at the time, that's what the environment was. You couldn't help but do that because that's what everyone else was doing, and they would also encourage you to do
Talk
the
about
same.
peer pressure, right? I mean, that's how we
Big
train.
time. That's
We knew
how it
one way
was.
to train.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
right, exactly. But I mean, there were a lot of competitors in the gym. Whether it was powerlifting competitor. Remember Ralph
Mhm.
Robustelli and
Oh,
all those. There
he
was
was
a
the
whole
guru.
powerlifting. Right, he was a whole powerlifting team. There was all the bodybuilders. I mean, Nat Servino was a top 10 ranked powerlifter in the United States. I
Right.
mean, not just in our area. So, we had Joe Morelli came a few times to the gym. I mean, he was a national champion in powerlifting, and then we had all these top pros, John Torelli, a bunch of guys that would come to the gym and train. So we had some top
Big
line
guns, man.
competitors.
Big guns.
Yeah.
Yourself
So
included. I mean, you were
right,
on the
right. So
rise, big time in the
yeah,
bodybuilding world.
right. So that's how everybody trained. That's just how we knew. We would bring anybody in. Hey, I want to lose 10 pounds. Okay, like get on a leg press and put on 800 pounds on a leg press.
Right.
That was our mentality. So either you live or you die. That was it. So, we all learned. We all learned, and we moved on. And now it's more important about health and stuff. I mean, and we don't really deal with a lot of competitors
No.
right now when we're at. Like I tell people, you want to compete in bodybuilding, want to compete in powerlifting. We're not the gym for you. We're looking
No.
for the person. I like to me like I just made a recent workout. I'll even announce it here first time. You haven't even heard this.
I
I
haven't.
did it. I did an entire workout, an entire written session. We're adding the links to the workout to describe the exercises. Workout for bosses, for entrepreneurs.
Huh.
This is a 4 day a week workout that gets all the muscles. It adds stretching, it adds core, it adds cardio. So you can get a top shape and not spend a lot of time in the gym, be able to train and look like an athlete, but be an athletic boss, male or female, be able to go out there and be able to be healthy and strong and still look good and be confident and take care of your business. Because it's really important that if you're not healthy and strong physically, there's no way you can deal with the pressures of being an entrepreneur. There's a lot of pressure that comes with that. So we know now more than we did back then. Back then was sacrifice your health to make some wealth. Now we know that we have to protect your health to make the wealth. That's the most important. And that's what this routine is all about. So it's a workout for bosses. I'm not sure if I'm naming it that yet, but just so you know, how you like them apples?
I kind of like those apples, and I wish I
Mm,
could take credit for that idea, but I will bestow that title to you, Nieves.
well, I got to get some kind of titles. I haven't had a title in 30 years.
Well, still reigning champ, Mr.
There you
Bodega,
go.
right here, brother man.
Yeah, miss.
Never
Yeah, back in the
forget
day.
that. But
Yeah,
before we sign off, because time is just getting by us as always, there was many of our members who, due to COVID and just all the craziness and nonsense, who have not returned to us as of yet. So I would like to call this segment like a call out to the family. So I will pick one name, as you will pick one name, and the
one name.
one name I'm choosing this week. I'm going to call out Jeannie Gracie Lopez.
No way, not Genie.
Yes, Jeannie.
Yeah, J Lo.
We hope you are well. We miss you dearly, and we would love for you to come back through the doors because she was cuckoo. She is cuckoo. When she walks through that door, she's all in, and she just loves the training, and she just adds to the flavor, the unique flavor of our studio and boot camp and family. So, Jeannie Lopez, if you are listening to this, we want
She's
you back,
also
baby.
she's also a turkey champion.
Yes,
Uh,
that's right. I'm gonna
right?
say 2016. I
Yeah, she
could be
won the
wrong on
turkey
that, but I think it's
challenge. She,
2016.
she
And she
lost
won
like
it by a long shot.
yeah, like she blew everybody away. It
Yeah, yeah.
wasn't
It wasn't even
close.
close. It wasn't even
Wasn't close. She
close.
was she was dead first. Yeah, she took like 50 pounds or something in 3 months. It was amazing.
Yeah, she had
She really
had
she was.
her daughter
Mm.
in February of that year, and then in November of that year, she
But
won
she
the
started in
circuit challenge.
yeah, so we started in September and went right into November, and she locked in, and that was it. There was no stopping her. So that was pretty awesome. Yeah, love to
Yeah,
have her back. Her energy is great. She's always a big smile, and we always mess around with her. So she's a lot of fun people. I'm gonna
absolutely.
call out somebody, and he's a guy. I'm gonna call out Eric Martinez.
Oh,
You
yes.
know, my
Pelayo's
nickname.
husband.
Yes, the man. My nickname for him is Superman because he came in fearless all the time. He came in and did the best he can. He pushed it. I remember one time Emily came to me and she said, "Well, if my man is Superman, that makes me Superwoman." I'm like, "No, that makes you Kryptonite. That's his only weakness." This
Yes,
guy comes in because he worked hard all
that is
day.
so accurate.
Yeah, then he came in and he really gave it 100%. Always gave 100%. Always did what he could, and always the best part, always with a smile on his face. I mean, he's one of those guys you just love to help and train because he always comes in with positive energy, and he's such a gentleman. And he loves his wife. It's a beautiful thing to see. You can see that they really love each other, and that's beautiful to watch inside our
It
studio.
really
So it's
is. It
awesome.
really is. They are
Yeah.
the epitome of a team and
Yeah.
a unit.
Right. So they're great. So I would love to see him back in boot camp. Stop being a wimp, Eric. I'm coming for you. Stop being a baby. But he's no baby. I know he knows he's a hardworking guy. But I love to see you back in boot camp. Hit me up as soon as you can, and we get the things rolling again, baby.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
So
you know what? I forgot last time we were on the air. Just very quickly, the great irreplaceable Erica Rodriguez has moved away to North
oh,
Carolina, Chapel Hill.
La Machine.
Yeah, the machine. She was amazing. She is amazing. She was with us for pretty much a decade, consistently, and she and her husband Ralph have moved to North Carolina, Chapel Hill, and starting a new life. And we wish her the best. But damn, she is sorely missed.
Yeah, she was one of my private clients as well. Again, positive energy. I mean, you just can't replace that strong work ethic and just a strong-willed. physical person. Everything about her eludes power, which was great. Just I miss her terribly. When she left, she looked at me, I looked at her, and we were like, "Oh, don't start crying." So it was great. We do miss her terribly, and hopefully she'll be back, to visit.
Sure.
Or hey, we could take a ride up there one day and visit her too.
Absolutely.
So it'd be a lot of fun. It'd be a lot of fun. Once you're part of the family, you never leave the
That's
family.
it. Just like the
Never.
mob, baby.
Yeah, that's it. We're the boot camp mafia. Remember that.
Yeah. Anything else you want to add before we
Man,
put a bow in this one?
no, I think that's good. We covered a lot, man, and appreciate you always. And let's do it again.
We will, pal. We will for sure. All right, my brother. Love you mucho, and
Love you too.
I guess I'll see you later tomorrow.
Get,
I don't know. We're just
get
stuck with
ready.
each other. God damn.
Yeah, I know it just never ends. But get ready for next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday, the
Old
crazy
school boot
train
camp.
is pulling into town.
Choo choo! Boom boom.